Welcome to this episode of Destination Dare. Every community in the Outer Banks has a story to tell, and this show brings that information to life. From Dare County history to current events, from government services to local profiles, we keep you entertained, informed, and up to date.
I'm honored today to be presenting the 2022 Dare County Employee of the Year. Dare County's employees are our number one asset. They give it their all to make the county the best. Dare County would not be what it is if it wasn't for our employees who work tirelessly around the clock to provide for our residents and visitors. We are extremely fortunate to have 770 true gems. Congratulations to telecommunicator shift supervisor Amy Elkin.
My name is Jack Scarborough. I'm a captain with the Dare County Sheriff's Office and Director of 911 for Dare, Hyde, and Terrell County.
It's a big honor and a privilege to be up here to give one of my staff the Employee of the Year for the county. She serves as a shift supervisor, so she's in charge of everything that happens in the room when she's working.
What sets Amy apart is the fact that she's always willing to help. She always comes out and assists in covering other shifts, and her positive attitude and her infectious sense of calm in any type of emergency or situation that she encounters while in the center.
She's always at work. She always fills in. She always helps. She always pitches in. If somebody's sick, she's the first one that'll come in and fill in.
During COVID, we had a lot of people that were out due to sicknesses and illnesses. We have to keep a certain number of people in there working at all times. And she was the one that volunteered anytime there was an opening, anytime we needed help, 20 minutes before we needed somebody, and she always came in and helped, and she was always here. She volunteered to work on holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas due to COVID vacancies, and the thing is once you volunteer for those holidays and work those, you're never going to get it back. She'll never get that time back with her family, and if something happens and she has to work the next Thanksgiving, that's another Thanksgiving loss. It's a very selfless act that all of our telecommunicators, and especially Amy, does.
Her attitude is the best you can ever imagine. On January the 10th this year, we switched to a new computer-aided dispatch program, and it flipped their lives upside down. Everything they did for the last 22 years just got flipped upside down and they have to do it a different way. The worst time in a telecommunicator's career was January the 10th. And she was happy. I don't understand it.
When Amy was named Employee of the Year, it was very refreshing for us. The folks that work here, they're never seen. They're just a voice on the radio most of the time. This was a way for the rest of the county and for all the citizens to get a glimpse of not only what we do, but who the folks are on the end of the 911 call when you call 911.
I'm 100% grateful and thankful for everything she does for us. The stuff that she doesn't even know that she does. Just by her mere presence helps everything on the ship. So thank you.
As senior telecommunicator, that is a shift supervisor, so I supervise C shift. We answer 911 calls. We dispatch fire, police, and EMS for Dare, Terrell, and Hyde counties.
The 911 center in Dare County, Hyde, and Terrell were the first answering point for anyone with an emergency. We answer about 180,000 calls a year in this center.
I think it's important as a 911 dispatcher to be there when help is needed and to be able to send the appropriate resources. So for like EMS, for instance, we use a program called EMD, it's Emergency Medical Dispatch. So we ask, tell me exactly what's happened so that you can tell us exactly what the symptoms are or what the problem is. Then we have choices that we can choose from in the EMD program. So if you say you're having a stroke, we have a series of questions that we can go through to determine the time the stroke started and information such as that, so the responders know what equipment they need on the rig, they know how much time they have, how quickly you need to get to the hospital. It affects their response.
We dispatch or we alert for around 80 different agencies in 3 counties. It's most always busy with something going on in one county or the other.
I love the job. I love the responders that I work with. It gives you a sense of accomplishment knowing that you kept them safe, you had their back while they were out on the street, and you got them home safely. And it makes you feel good helping the public, knowing that you were there for them in their time of need. I would like for the public to know that we are here to help you. A lot of times we ask a lot of questions. It's not delaying help in any way, shape, or form. We are sending you help as we're asking these questions, but it's for the first responders so they have the best idea of what they need and what they're walking into on scene.
Just know that we're always here and we'll always answer at any time help is needed, that we're always just a phone call away.
Every year, the Town of Kildouble Hills Board of Commissioners, along with town staff, uses the town's land use plan, recreational plan, shoreline access plan, and capital improvements plan to maintain and update our parks, streets, beach, and other amenities. We work hard to keep our town enjoyable and running smoothly for residents and visitors.
Welcome to Meekins Field. We're situated behind a fire station in Kildouble Hills. We are revamping this entire park. We're adding a splash pad. We have a brand new play set behind me. We have a swing set in the back, and we have a spider climb, and we're still adding a tot play set and another swing set. We're in the finishing stages of a brand new bathroom building. We're revamping the field. We've installed all new irrigation. We're going to be adding some sod to it. We've got new soccer goals coming. We've got lacrosse goals coming for the first time. It's going to be an open play field. We also have added a pavilion that is open to the public. We've got 2 picnic tables that will be going under there, and some Adirondack chairs are going to be there so you can watch the tennis players. We're resurfacing our tennis court, and we're adding pickleball lines so that it'll be open play for everybody. We've also installed a walking path around the entire field so that you can exercise also, walking around the path, getting your miles in, getting your exercise in on a beautiful day at Meekins Field. Now we're at Aviation Park in Kildouble Hills. It's off Veterans Drive, just across from the high school. We have a lot going on here this year and in the future. We're installing new LED lights at the hockey rink. We're gonna resod the dog park. We have a new pavilion behind me with picnic tables, open to the public, year-round. Come on out here, walk around the quarter-mile path around the pond, and enjoy yourself at Aviation Park in Mary's Paws Park. We're in our second full season of farmers markets here at Aviation Park in Kildouble Hills. We're setting the schedule so that we can have our summer markets that will lead into the fall markets, and to help make room for everybody that wants to come and enjoy it, we're going to double the size of our parking lot.
Just last year, 2022, we finished up West 3rd Street from the bypass over to Bay Drive. Like all of our projects, this one had elements of water distribution improvements, storm drainage improvements, street improvements, and for the case of West 3rd Street, a sidewalk as well. So this year's project, we go to the east end of West 3rd Street up near the bypass. For several years, we've been bringing good, strong storm drainage up from the Lowe's and Publix area in front of the fire station and then across the Dare Center under West 3rd Street. Right now, we're taking it further north across the commercial sites, Circle K and the other businesses between 3rd and 4th, and then on up beyond 4th to 5th and even up to West Durham. West Durham and that West Avalon neighborhood is really the area that needs the benefit. Those areas flood and get road flooding and other types of flooding, even in light to moderate rains at times, and this is going to put an end to that. I mean, there will still be a heavy rain that we can't handle, but while we're doing it, we're also improving the aesthetics of the roadside scene along the bypass. Think about how much better it looks in front of the Dare Center once we got that piped in and enclosed, and we'll have that same look now all the way from West 3rd Street up to West Durham, and that'll be the end of the roadside ditch on the west side. Now there are other things going on. We're in design for next year's project, which will be going back to Seminole Street and Indian Drive, kind of behind the Dare Center and branching off West 3rd Street. And there'll be some other drainage work along with that, as well as street and water main. But we also have out to bids, even right now, another sidewalk extension which will extend the west side sidewalk on the bypass all the way from just south of West Landing Drive, all the way down in front of the Park Service property, and then picking up and continuing all the way down to Collington Road.
Kill Devil Hills continually works to improve its facilities for our residents and visitors. Our Board of Commissioners regularly seeks input from the public. The town values your input and your voice to your town. Consider applying to serve on one of the town's boards and committees.
My name is Officer David Rose. I'm with the Manteo Police Department. I've been with the department for about 5 years. I am a patrol officer / canine officer. My canine partner is Hardy. He is a yellow lab. So we've officially been together since September of 2022. The way to become a canine officer, first you have to have a desire to do so. I've always wanted to be a canine officer. For the handler, that's the big thing. You got to show that interest and desire. For the canine, a little different. They usually breed them from a young age, start with basic obedience commands. Hardy is a narcotics canine, referred to as a single purpose, which seems a little weird because he does several jobs. He also does article searches as well as tracking and trailing, which is searching for people if they go missing. A dog will give you certain clues when he's looking for detecting odors. Some of those clues might be a change of breathing, where he starts breathing only through his nose and not through his mouth, as well as increased tail wagging, he's getting excited, and increased focus on a certain location. A regular patrol vehicle is going to have, we call it the cage in the back, usually reserved for people we arrest. In my vehicle, the entire back seat is basically the kennel for Canine Hardy. It's wide open, it's got a hard rubber mat in there, and I've also included a sleeping pad for him, making it just a little bit more comfortable. So he's got the entire back to himself. Canine vehicles have a cooling system, not just your normal AC, but it's also got an emergency cooling system. So for whatever reason, I'm out of the vehicle and I forget to turn the AC on, there's temperature gauges in there. And when that temperature reaches a certain level, whether it's high temperatures or low temperatures, it'll start an alarm. And if it gets too hot, windows will actually roll down and the AC will kick on until I come out there and make the adjustments as needed. Manteo is very big on community-oriented policing. We'll go and be involved in all the events around town, whether it's parades. We've taken them over to the schools, done demonstrations for some of the classes when they're outside, and let the kids come up and pet them. You know, a lot of canines, they don't really want them to interact much with people, outside of actually working. But here we do. You always want to make sure that it's okay to come up and talk to the dog or pet him, get the handler's permission, and then follow any directions or instructions the handler gives you. So when Hardy's at home, we have another dog at the house. Those two just run each other ragged. Either my wife or I will take dogs for a walk, just take them to the parks, run them around. Try not to do any real work or training at home, because when he's at home, he's a family member, more of a pet at the house. So we want to keep that balance. This experience has been absolutely rewarding, having the opportunity to make a difference in the neighborhood, the community policing aspect, and letting kids, adults see us as a team and know it's all right to come up and talk to us. We're out there for them.
We're different from other communities. Since our incorporation in 1961, we've worked to preserve Nags Head through carefully considered decision making. And today, even though we've grown significantly, our town still reflects the values that were so important to our current board's predecessors. We're still a close-knit family beach with a relaxed pace of life, an appreciation for our history, and a commitment to environmental conservation. The decisions Nags Head's leaders have made over the years considered these values. We have a long tradition of commitment to keeping our heritage alive, and I believe that's evident throughout our town.
I was first elected in 1991. The boards before me had done a really good job of planning and zoning and trying to think decades ahead of how the town should look. They laid a really strong basis for the work that myself and other board members that came in with me picked up and tried to carry on. So we're trying to move the town forward, yet still retain our character.
Nags Head Board of Commissioners started talking about the town's mission and vision in the early 80s, and by the late 90s the town adopted its first mission and vision. It was based on the concepts of low-density buildings, a local base, local flavor, and the built environment should reflect the local wooden cottages, lighthouses, Coast Guard stations.
Life is spent outdoors here, so a focus on the environment as well as decisions committed to preserving the safety and health of our natural resources have always been a focus in Nags Head.
One of the places that best represents the town's values is Nags Head Woods. Many years ago, the town worked with the Nature Conservancy to preserve a large swath of Nags Head Woods, and then in the early 90s, the town and the Conservancy partnered to purchase over 600 acres. By preserving Nags Head Woods and saying the best use of that land was as open space, it gave the town permission to look at how we treated the natural environment, how we treated green space.
And that in turn has propelled us to also try to preserve and save other places. We've gone in and purchased lots for stormwater. We've gone in and developed not just ocean beach accesses, but sound side accesses to provide recreation. We've also tried to develop responsibly, not just for people to enjoy, but to appreciate the natural beauty that we have here.
In addition to tree and vegetative preservation, low-rise and low-density development have also been goals of the town. You won't see high-rise buildings in Nags Head or homes crowded on top of one another. One of the ways we've been able to manage this is through our Septic Health Initiative.
The program was started around the year 2000, but it grew out of planning efforts going back to the early 80s. It was extremely important as the Septic Health Initiative helps protect the water quality on which our economy is based. Using on-site wastewater prevents the need for a central sewage system, which could lead to high-density growth, the kind the town doesn't want.
One of the things I think that Nags Head has tried to do a good job of is retain our local businesses, our family-oriented businesses. I think one of the best things the town ever did in order to help the businesses and the people renting on the beach road as well is have the multi-use path. You don't necessarily have to drive everywhere.
Nags Head's a town that balances being a good place to live and a great place to visit. It's done that through consistent use of values in its decision-making over a long period, really since its inception back in '61.
If we've learned anything over the past 30-some years that I've been here, it's important to maintain our natural resources, preserve our natural resources, preserve our vegetation. Let's try to make Nags Head continue on the path that we want it to be and only enhance what we already have.
The decisions we make as elected officials, the actions that are taken, they impact the character and traditions that make our town unique. But the boards before us took great care to ensure that future town leaders understood what was important to the people of Nags Head. And we're doing the same to ensure that our heritage remains intact for future generations.
You may not know us, but we're Kitty Hawk Fire Rescue. My name is Chris Davis. I'm a lieutenant for Kitty Hawk Fire Rescue. We do it all. We put out fires. We're there when there's a car accident. Our inspections keep you safe. Our equipment is state-of-the-art, and we are professional and motivated. So motivated that we have our own training center hand-built by our fire department members. Everything we do well, really well. We even do ocean rescue. The Outer Banks has some of the best ocean rescue teams anywhere, and we're planning on being the best of the best. But no matter how good we are, we can't do our job without your help. When summer comes to the Outer Banks, we need all the good people we can get. The Outer Banks is one of the most beautiful places on earth. We're offering qualified people the chance to experience life on a sandbar and get paid for it. We offer outstanding training and support. We pay a competitive wage, and we're expanding our ocean rescue capabilities into the off-season. There may be opportunities for people we train to become part of Kitty Hawk Fire Rescue. The people we're looking for are hardworking and responsible, with good people skills and a strong work ethic. Of course, you'll have to be a strong swimmer as well. Let us know if you're interested. Contact us at the station. Our number is 252-261-2666. If you want to be the best, come work for the best.
My name is Tom Mattingly. I am the Flotilla Commander for the Outer Banks Flotilla of the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary. The Coast Guard Auxiliary exists really for the main reason is our mission is promote boating safety. Here on the Outer Banks, though, we have a secondary mission that's just about as important as supporting the air station in Elizabeth City. When pilots come into the Coast Guard, they typically train with the United States Navy down in Pensacola. They learn how to fly the helicopter, same helicopter the Navy flies. They call it the Seahawk, the Coast Guard calls it the Jayhawk. They're not taught what they're supposed to be doing with those helicopters once they get to an air station. That's where we come in. We are one of a bunch of training partners for the air station. They like us for one very simple reason. We are less than 5 minutes from the runway. So they get up in the air and they're out over the Albemarle Sound and they start working. A couple of years ago, the air station estimated that we saved the Coast Guard about $1.5 million on just fuel. You know, they'd have to fly up to Cape May or down to Wilmington to work with Coast Guard vessels. And so because of the presence of the auxiliary able to take these training missions, we free up the Coast Guard boat stations to do what they're supposed to do. We promote boating safety in a number of different ways. Probably the most recognizable aspect of what we do is our boating safety classes. We typically do 6 to 9 a year. They're either one-day classes, the Boat America program. Twice a year, we run what we call the Boating Safety and Seamanship. It's kind of the graduate level course. We teach all kind of different things in that. It's typically done over 6 nights. Southern Shores, the volunteer fire department up there. That's probably the thing we're most known for, but beyond that, we also do vessel safety checks here all down the beach. We check off that they've got everything on that boat that they're supposed to have. They pass inspection, we award them a U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary Vessel Safety Check decal that they put on the boat. We do a lot of fun events to promote who we are and the boating safety message. We do the Seafood Festival. We are going to be in Mike Kelly's St. Patrick's Day Parade with this boat in a few weeks. We haul it out of the water and we haul it down and give kids stuff and all. So we do a number of events like that throughout the year. We also go into the schools quite frequently. Next week, in fact, we're going into 6 elementary schools here on the beach, and we teach a kind of a modified boating safety class for those kids. But the biggest thing I think people need to know about the Outer Banks Flotilla is that we serve this community, all right? We do everything here. Our operating area is from where we're standing right now to the south tip of Roanoke Island. So everything we do is for the Outer Banks, and it's all community service. And that's one of the main reasons most of us joined. We like being on the water, we like boating safety, we like being on boats, but we also all acknowledge that we're serving our community, not something else. Everything we do here stays here. Wear your life jacket. Have your personal flotation device with you. 80% of the people that die in the water out there, they were not wearing a life jacket. We encourage everyone to have a radio. You know, a VHF radio on their boat, either a handheld version or something mounted, and most boaters here do. Have a way to communicate when you're out in your boat. If you're gonna be out for a long time, just tell a neighbor, hey, we're going out. I'm probably gonna be out all day. So basically, if you don't see me back here by nightfall, call somebody. We're in trouble. If what we're doing sounds like fun, probably the best way to get a hold of us is go to our website, and you can find it by Googling CGAUX OBX. Your first hit will come up, will be our website. You can contact us. The email will come to me. we'll reach out and we'll talk to you more about joining the auxiliary. We're a fun bunch of people. We like to have fun.
In 2032, the town of Duck, North Carolina is a thriving coastal community. We respect and value our delicate yet dynamic barrier island environment. Clean waters and beaches, maritime forests, wetlands, and dunescapes. Residents and visitors alike are drawn to neighborhoods that reflect our small town atmosphere. Our village is a source of pride, offering diverse experiences by way of a cohesive and eclectic mix of independent businesses, shops, and restaurants. At the hub of our community is the town hall and park, where we interact, share ideas, and build connections. Duck's Vitality, founded on grassroots engagement, encourages meaningful participation from all of its stakeholders. Long-term financial stability, sustainable services, measured growth, and a focus on quality of life distinguish Duck as a preeminent destination for everyone.
Last October, the Town Council and the town staff spent a day revising our vision and a strategic long-range plan for the town. This goes back to 2012 when we started this process. In 2012, the town was 10 years old, and what we did lack was basically a vision and a 10-year strategy moving forward. In the first 10 years, we built the infrastructure and built the town, but it was what take the town to the next step that was really needed. So we engaged a consultant developing basically Vision 2022. The intent when we established the Vision 2022 was to relook back in 2017 every 5 years. So in 2017, we re-engaged our consultant and re-established Vision 2027, reviewing our vision and our unifying principles, and obviously revising our 3 to 5 year plans. Coming up on 2022, it was time once again to revisit that. And once again, myself as Mayor Pro Tem Monica Thibodeau, and 3 new members of council, and essentially a very lot of new members of the town staff, addressed this last October. And once again, reestablished our goals for the next 3 to 5 years. And so we now are looking at the Vision 2032.
Duck has 6 unifying principles that we've identified. One unifying principle is Duck and our village. Everyone that knows Duck knows that the heart of our town is our vibrant business community, but that just geographically the center of town, a place where we have our town park where people can gather, and all the diverse residential neighborhoods that surround it. Another unifying principle is our vibrant, thriving business community. We want our business owners to thrive here, and making everything accessible, making things walkable, just a real variety of shops and restaurants for everybody to enjoy in this beautiful setting. It just all ties together. Another unifying principle is our active, engaged community. We see it in our volunteerism. We have great programs where we're out planting or picking up trash. We're volunteering for all the events that we host in the park. The active involvement in decision making. You know, the town council is very open and wants to hear from everybody. Another unifying principle is enhanced movability. That has been kind of a core principle of Duck since we became a town, because it all kind of started with our sidewalks and being able to have that pedestrian-friendly vibe. We also recognize that we're just a 2-lane road running north and south that connect Corolla down to the rest of the beach. So that is important to us too, being able to keep that traffic flowing as best we can, safely, and with all of these different modes of transportation all intersecting right in one small spot. We really want to keep it flowing as best we can. We also have the principle of environmental stewardship. The environment is what makes Duck so unique. Our geography, the sliver of sand that we are between the Sound and the ocean, and just the beauty of that area. We've got it all here, and we want to preserve it, protect it. We want to make sure we're nurturing it and taking care of it. So environmental stewardship is huge here, and that goes all the way down to our services with, making sure we offer recycling and good services that all take care of the environment as much as we can. And finally, responsible leadership. I've been a member of town council almost since the beginning of us becoming a town, so it's been an honor for me to be on the council for this long and see the changes we've done. But with that comes a responsibility of making sure that we're hearing the residents, that the leaders are doing all the right things with the help of a great staff. Our staff is just very committed to this town. It's a wonderful thing to see how much pride and how dedicated the staff and the elected leaders are to making sure that the town is run well and is very open to everyone. It's hugely important. I believe that by looking in the past and setting this vision, we're helping create a foundation for the future.